that one ended up in like my middle
Yeah.
and in the middle.
Like
where,
right smack dab.
yeah, and a little higher up where I think I saw judgment.
Okay.
And so that's why I like that hope is higher for you,
Yeah.
because it like, and as everybody can tell, like as we talk, you lift me up out of that judgment zone. And I think it's because that you come from this futuristic view, this hopeful view.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah.
Welcome back to In Residence. I'm Keith.
And I'm Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Keith.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing swell. Stuff and things.
Stuff and things. Want to check in about this week and
Yeah.
how things are going? How's your week?
It's okay. Having trouble getting the video edition of the podcast going.
Yeah.
So I am working through that. And I'm more stressed out than I want to be.
Mm.
But I'm also trying to let it go because it ultimately doesn't really matter.
Right.
But it feels like it matters.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm working through some things with that. So that's the fact that the thing that has gone well isn't going well is throwing me for a bit of a loop.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, things are fine. We just had Halloween.
We did.
And got a little
I love
wet.
Halloween.
It's cold and rainy.
It was cold and rainy. At least it wasn't snowing.
I think I'd rather it snow.
Really? I don't think I would rather it snow.
Yeah.
I mean, the blizzard of 91 was enough.
Well, I don't think you get as wet and cold to your core when it doesn't like soak into you, because the snow just kind of bounces off.
That's true. I will say I did not wear the correct footwear. And so I had my Toms and my socks and my Toms and my jacket were soaked through.
Yeah.
And so when I had to put them back on to go home, it was so cold.
Not good. Yeah, I had to turn the heat up and like snuggle under a blanket, and I'm like, oh, this is new. I'm used to being able to bounce back from the elements a little faster, but that's not been the case for the last few years. But anyway,
yeah.
So other than that, I'm doing great. That was a good break from the spinning I've been doing, trying to figure out why the video isn't rendering and all that stuff. But, how about you? What's been going on?
My last week was pretty good. I did have a pretty busy week at work, but child 2 was in Green Bay with me. So I love when he comes because we always end up, checking out new restaurants and hanging out. We've been watching baseball, and we watched the Packer game on Sunday together, and always have to stop at Jim's Music. So shout out to Jim's to play and take some guitars for a test run.
Yeah. He enjoys that.
He really enjoys that. Yeah. Every time we left the apartment, he said, "Oh, I better bring some picks with just in case we end up at Jim's."
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, well, that's a subtle little hint, isn't it?
You always need one in your pocket. That's for sure.
Yeah. So it was a blast having him in Green Bay for the week.
Yeah. That was a little different for me too, of not having him around to like check in with. It's different, but it's also maybe that's why I was a little more focused on what wasn't working, because I didn't have something else to do, like go check in with him between classes and see how things were going. So I hadn't really thought of that, but I had fewer things to focus on. So I was maybe sinking into a little bit of that obsessive like OCD of like, this isn't working, so I need to give it all of my attention, and I had the ability to do that. So anyway, that just popped in my head. So anyway, so I have a couple things on my mind.
Yeah.
And so, and maybe that fits into it. So the Strengths Finder, right? Like that, is it a personality test, or is it like a character? Like,
no, I mean, it's
a way to like know yourself better, right?
Yeah.
And like get some insights into maybe how how you operate.
Like how you're wired.
Yeah, whatever you call that. So that came up again. And so I took it, a version of that, and they call it like character strengths or something, like a
Mm-hmm.
free online version
Yeah,
of,
someone recommended it to you,
yeah. And
right?
I'm like, oh,
To
I've
check it
taken
out.
that, but so I still have the original file, and I didn't really go back because like we've talked about that quite a bit, and
Yeah.
I think you and I have, like, we're learners, achievers, and then like maybe where we diverge is like I have like historical context is like
Yeah.
one of my strengths, and then yours is futurist.
Yep. Futurist.
And so that's why I think how sometimes we attack
Yeah.
things from different
We
viewpoints.
complement each other
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
well.
And so, but I went and looked. Well, okay, when I just went and looked at when the last time I got the file, it was 10
Yeah.
years ago.
10 years ago?
So I haven't. I
It's
don't
been
think I've.
that long, huh?
Yeah, I don't think I've taken one. Like, I mean, that was like the Strength Finder one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from
That,
Gallup.
yeah, and you'd get it from the book or whatever. Get
Yep.
your little code and you'd have to like enter
I
it in.
love that. Yeah.
Um, and so I'm about due to pay attention to this, I think. So,
Can I tell you, I took the Strengths Finder this summer for a conference for work,
mm,
and they gave me all 34 strengths. Do you
oh,
want to guess which one was my last strength? That's kind of the opposite of what you do with strengths, right? The focus is you should be focusing on your top strengths
yeah,
and leaning into them, not looking at what is your number 34 and trying to completely mitigate it.
right.
But I want you to guess, do you know what my 34 was?
Patience?
Oh no. No, but I think it'll make you laugh.
Okay. I've,
Consistency.
oh, really?
Yes, consistency was my 34th strength.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, so that I think that's where that comes in as where it's not a hard science, I guess, or I don't know how else to say it. Like these are all suggestions and things to consider,
Well, you aren't,
right?
I mean, I think I like to think about it as you're not cemented into the things that they're the labels, right?
Yeah.
I do think for me, the strengths is really powerful because it really says these are the things that you're amazing at and you're great at and are your strengths. And if you can find ways to tap into that and lean into them more, you're going to be more productive. You're going to be happier. You're going to really be in the flow of your work
Yeah.
in all aspects of your life. So that's why I think it's really fairly useful.
And so the the reason, or part of the reason this came up is somebody suggested it, and what they recommended was almost the opposite, which is let's pay attention to what you maybe scored the lowest in, or
Hmm.
I think in this one it calls it your lesser strengths.
Yep. Yeah.
And they're like, because you can gain some insights in that. And so it made me think of, like, okay, yeah, I'm a learner and I'm an achiever. And if I lean into those too hard, they kind of hold me back,
True.
right? Like
Yeah.
it can become perfectionism. My learning can become a unending quest to gather more information before I make a decision.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so looking at, okay, where am I not indexing, and where am I not, I don't know, like relying on something to like help me move through, maybe I can draw some strength from those things.
Yeah.
So I I think I have written down my bottom five and my top five.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to get into it a little bit,
Yeah, I think it'd be
but
fun. So maybe we should share what the tool is called in case other people want to go ahead and take it themselves.
yeah, I don't even remember. Do
Here,
you
I can
remember?
find it.
Find it. I do have my iPad today because my phone is recording.
Yeah. So it's an assessment from the VIA Institute on Character.
Okay.
And there's only one survey tool there. You just say, take the survey. And so
Yeah.
it's VIA Institute of Character
Yeah.
is
And
where this is from.
I just did the free one, like for the
Hmm.
results or whatever, and like you can pay for more in depth and stuff. But I'm like, well, that's why I have a podcast. I can go more in depth with you.
Yeah, we can unpack it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. So my let's start with my top strengths here
Okay.
real quick. And
Are you going to do all five at once?
what do you want to do? I figured I'd list them off and we can dive into them if we
Sounds
want,
good.
because like we'll figure it out.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
So number one, love of learning.
Hmm.
Humor is two.
Okay.
Then humility, which I'm like, those are funny. Like, I think they have the same root.
Yeah.
Appreciation of beauty and excellence.
Okay.
And then honesty.
Okay.
So interesting, but it's like the reason I'm excited to focus on the next five, the bottom five, lesser
Mhm.
five, is because I kind of know this about myself. Like I already said, like, yeah, I like to learn. I like to be funny, or I like funny things. I use it. It's a strength of mine, but it's also a defense mechanism.
Sure.
I tend to make jokes when I'm uncomfortable, kind of thing, you know?
You do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like you've helped me learn like my humility, right? It makes me less ambitious sometimes. It makes me not go after things,
Mhm.
so it kind of holds me back a little bit, but so I need to be aware of it. So anyway, I kind of know this stuff about me. So anyway,
Yeah.
what are your top
My
five?
top 5?
Yeah.
So my number 1 is love of learning.
That's funny.
We are two peas in a
Yeah.
pod,
Wow. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I think that is spot on. My second one was hope. So expecting the best from the future. My third one is love. So valuing close relationships. My fourth one is creativity. And then my fifth one is gratitude, being aware and thankful for good things that happen.
Wow. I think a lot of those were in my middle,
In your
like
middle strengths?
like the 15 middle or whatever.
Yeah.
There's quite a big range in the middle. Uh, like there's the top five and like the lesser five or
Hmm.
whatever. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. And, I would say, I know about yours, you said that you know this about yourself already,
Yeah.
right? But I was looking at these and they just brought me so much peace. I'm like, yes, I love that these are my 5.
Yeah.
They made me just so happy, you know?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Well, I wasn't not happy, by the way. And I know you're not
okay.
saying I wasn't.
No.
I guess I'm kind of like, oh, I already know that. Whatever.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Maybe
okay.
that's the humility thing.
Yeah.
What if,
Maybe.
right? You're leaning, you're like,
Maybe.
yeah,
Tell me something
okay.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Test.
I mean, these are my strengths. Let's just, set those aside,
Yeah. Oh, well,
right? I
that's another
mean,
thing I did learn, right? Like I tend to focus on what's lacking,
hmm
right? Instead of, what's there to gain. So maybe that's a little bit of it. That's interesting. Okay, let's roll.
well,
Let's
I
Okay.
mean, I will say what's interesting about that too, though. You're saying that, and then I have hope
Yeah.
over here of expecting the good in the future
So
to
annoying.
come.
So annoying.
So no, but I'm saying that because although we have some things that we share in common, like the love of learning, I think that in teams and in our relationship, having two that seem like they're opposite actually make us a stronger team
Yeah.
because it helps us not just like walk around and be like, we're so hopeful, we're so happy all the time,
Yeah.
because that's my kind of world. And you're able to help me be pragmatic
Yeah.
too, and a little more practical than just having my head in the clouds all
Yeah.
the time. So I think
Okay, that's a good segue into my
I think
bottom
that's
one.
good. Okay. So now we're gonna go to the bottom. And
Well,
these
because
ones are called
lesser strengths.
lesser
Sorry.
strengths. So sometimes the word bottom to me feels very
Judgmental.
judgmental,
Yeah.
or even like my 34th strength on the strengths finder. It
I'm
seems a
saying it. I'm
little
saying it because it's at the bottom of the list and they didn't
yes.
number them.
Yes. So your
I think mine
lesser
were.
strengths.
I think
What are
mine
your
were
lesser strengths?
4. I think I only have 4
Yep.
down
I
there.
only have 4 as
Okay.
well.
So teamwork.
Okay. Mine is teamwork too. Maybe I shouldn't have
We
jumped
didn't
in
like
and
group
told you that.
project. We didn't like group projects growing up. I don't
No,
think
I
either one.
definitely didn't. I always felt like I took on more than my fair share.
Yeah.
Then I felt resentful.
Yep. Zest.
Zest. Okay, tell me about zest.
Well, I'd have to like read it a little bit more. But this is where I kind of was like, okay, like I have a zest for life and I'm
Hmm.
passionate about lots of things, but I think this starts to show how that practicality and that maybe stoicism creeps in with my personality of
Okay.
like I don't tend to get too high or too low, but if I'm gonna go one way or the other, it's a little more low. It's like where I'm like,
Yeah.
like I hold myself back from like allowing I guess I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know how exactly they explained it.
So I found it here, and it's approaching life with excitement and energy, not doing things halfway or half-heartedly, and living life as an adventure, feeling alive and activated.
Yeah. So I can see how that might, yeah, because I hesitate and I think and I overthink, right? And right?
Yeah,
Um, and then forgiveness. So I can hold a
that's one of
grudge.
my lesser ones
So
too. Oh no.
I can hold a grudge for sure. And then self-regulation.
Okay.
And that, so that'll come up with something else that's been on my mind. So I thought that was kind of insightful with something else I've been thinking of. But yeah. So I mean, those are my lesser strengths, and so it's like, okay,
Hmm.
I should pay attention to these and see what I can do to build them up a little bit and utilize them a little
Yeah,
more.
stir 'em up
All
a
right,
bit.
what are yours?
So my lesser strengths, I have forgiveness as well, as one, which, and I will say, you and I are pretty honest that we can be very stubborn.
Mhm.
Both of us could be fairly stubborn. We actually call it, one of my great grandmas used to say, you're envious.
Yeah,
So kind of stubborn and believe you know best.
yeah.
So I think sometimes, I mean, we come around, but
I think some
a
of
little
these
bit.
lesser strengths, it's it's a strength. It's just maybe not coming from a higher place, kind of thing. If you want to think of it that way, it's like, oh, if I use that too much, it's going to put people off.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Right. Well, and I think too, so now I'm just going to justify a little bit. But the way I was thinking of some of the questions, it's not that I don't forgive people or can see that people have different ideas or perspectives than me. It was more, I thought, sometimes I need to be comfortable setting my own boundaries as well.
Mm,
And I was thinking kind of the Mel Robbins thing of, well, sometimes I can let them do what it is they're going to do, but I get to choose the action that I have and whether or not I want to um, put up with that or kind of
yeah.
be there. So I think I was answering a lot of the questions not as I'm going, people are going to be dead to me if they,
Right. Right.
do something I don't like. It was more, people are going to do what they're going to do, but I have the choice and agency to decide whether um, I invest my time in those relationships.
Yeah.
So I was seeing it more as a boundary setting piece. So I
Yeah.
might be justifying it, but that's how I was seeing it.
No, but understanding where you're coming from when you're answering some of these questions that can be interpreted differently.
Hmm.
Like there was one for me that it was like, oh, do you treat everybody fairly even if you don't like them or something?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, don't. And it wasn't because I'm trying to be mean to people I don't
Right.
like. It's that I believe more in equity
Right.
and some people need more of one thing than the other. So why would I treat everybody the same? You know,
Right.
I mean, not justifying treating somebody unfairly. I'm
Right.
using it more of I want to make sure I treat people fairly.
Hmm.
Therefore, I'm not going to treat everybody the same because that's not always fair. So
Yeah.
I'm probably overthinking some of the stuff. But anyway, okay,
No, I
you have
was
a couple
too.
more left.
Yep. So fairness was on mine as
Okay,
well. And
fairness.
fairness,
Oh, okay, mine was forgiveness.
forgiveness. So I had forgiveness and fairness.
Okay,
And fairness is kind of what you were just saying. I saw it more as sometimes it doesn't make sense to treat everyone the exact same cookie cutter way.
yeah,
But maybe it makes more sense to, like I'm thinking child one and child two. Like if we got child one a t-shirt of something and got the exact same one for child two, then
it wouldn't work.
it wouldn't work
No,
because child one loves tennis, child two loves his math rock music,
yeah,
right?
is that what you're
It's,
calling
I
it?
think it's called mathematical rock or polyphia. They're like very
It's like more like progressive rock, prog rock is what
prog
like what
rock.
I call it, like Rush and stuff
Okay.
is what it makes me think of. It's less Rush though. Like
Yeah,
it's
but
more math. Yeah.
and I know that's not probably a
Yes.
relationship type focus, but it does. I think that it's more thoughtful to um, think of what other people need in that moment and not just the exact thing that you
Yeah.
did for somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know. Uh, I also had teamwork, like I already said, and then my last one was self regulation. So we had three of the four lesser
Wow.
strengths.
We are a dangerous pair.
We are. So the self-regulation is around relating or relegating, regulating. Ooh, why am I having a hard time getting that one out? Regulating what one feels and does, being disciplined, controlling one's impulses and emotions.
Yeah.
And I will say for me, when I can tell you the questions that I answered that I know brought that one down is I was thinking in my life personally about self discipline.
Hmm.
So, am I, when I say I want to go for a walk every day, am I showing up for myself and going for a walk every day? If I tell myself I don't want to eat dessert every day, am I not sneaking that, peanut butter cup?
Yeah.
Things like that. So, I do think I might have um, I mean, I don't think I disagree that I don't feel like I have as much rigor to that self discipline when it comes around following through on my workouts and sometimes the eating plan that I've got going on. So,
Yeah.
and that's okay. At least I'm admitting it. But
Yeah. I mean, the same thing came up in my head with when I was reading through some of these. It's like, yeah, I don't show up for myself the way I want to, or the way I show up for work or a project,
mm-hmm,
right? Or for others. And it's
exactly.
come up in other groups I've talked with of how, like, we focus on, self-care, and are we giving attention to the things that we need to
Hmm.
do to help us be set up for the week, and I'm like,
Yeah.
one of my main focuses is health, right?
Yep.
And it's like the first thing that we sacrifice. Like, we've talked
It
about
often
this
is. Yeah.
over and over. It's like, I'm dehydrated. Oh, it's because I was so focused on getting the work done, I didn't get up, which is one getting up and standing is good. Getting a few steps in, and one of the best things I could do to do that is to go get a glass of water.
Yeah.
And I don't. I'm stuck to the screen, and I'm trying to figure it out. It was kind of where I was this week, but I
Yeah.
was, to be fair to myself, I was getting water. That was the one thing I was doing, is like,
Hmm. That's great.
I was treating it like a pot of water. I'm like, this isn't working, probably because I'm watching. So I'm like, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get myself a drink of
Sure.
water, and I'm gonna let
There you
the
go.
computer boil, and hopefully
Yeah.
it'll come up to temp faster if I'm not, and I was also like tidying up around in my
Hmm.
workshop and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I think we tend to be harder on ourselves especially when
Absolutely.
it comes to personal things, and
Yeah.
we tend to make the harder choices that usually end up in like us sacrificing our self-care when it comes to getting the work done.
Hmm.
If especially like if it's related to a paycheck,
Yeah.
and showing up for your work team, like
Yeah.
that's
Right.
like here, like personal teamwork, right? Like, I want to sit here and I want to work and I want to figure this out, and I'm going to dive into learning so that I can understand why this program isn't doing what I want it to do. And I don't need help. I need the computer to tell me,
Right.
or I'll ask Google or I'll ask AI.
Hmm.
Now, if I'm working in the workplace and we have to get, like, when I was in cabinet shop, we had to work as a team to get the cabinets for a house done.
Yeah.
That's different.
Right.
For some reason,
Sure.
that's different. I can show up differently for that,
Yeah.
and I know you obviously, a lot of these things like don't apply to you when you show up for work,
Right. Yeah. That's true. One of the questions, and I kind of giggled a little bit when I read it because I feel like I get things done despite the response I gave. It was a question around the lines of, when you're doing a work project, do you get distracted and move on to something different in the middle of it?
Mm,
And I was sitting there, I go, yeah, I definitely do that. Where I feel like I often have, you know, how when your computer is full of different browser windows, I feel like that is oftentimes my world where I have a draft of something going, I have an email going, I have something that I'm reading like over here, and then I have a website where I'm doing a whole bunch of research and I have multiple different models from other places up going, well, that's intriguing and that's interesting. And so it made me giggle because, I'll be focused on getting one thing done, and then one small thing will get me, either somebody will call or pop by, or I have to get up and get water or go to the restroom,
Mhm.
something like that. And I'll come back, I'll be like, where was I? Let me try something different,
Yeah.
and it's it made me giggle a
Yeah.
little bit because I don't often do like going all the way through. Um, like I don't approach my work projects like I do often how I eat my meals.
Okay. Tell me more.
So, so I often, not all the time, but people have actually noticed this and asked me, like at work things, which is very interesting. And I realize I'm I'm weird.
Yeah.
But if I have a plate, I normally will start with whatever one thing is and finish that, and then move on to the next thing. So if I have
Oh,
like chicken, mashed potatoes, and some green beans, I'll do all green beans, then
that's
I'll go to the
right.
chicken, then I'll go to the potatoes. I don't go in between all of
Yeah.
them.
I remember, I think I know when I noticed that about you, I was like, did you just eat all your fries at once? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
And when I'm done with the fries, maybe I don't eat them all, but once I stop eating them, I'm like,
Yeah. And then I'm like, ow, ow. I'm
yeah, exactly.
like, sweet.
I don't know. There's a weird rigidity to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
somebody can diagnose me in some
it's a
way.
little,
I don't know.
I mean, to me, I think a little segmented or something, or you're being able to put things in their own buckets or something, or I don't know,
Yeah,
prioritization maybe. I don't know.
I have no idea.
That's interesting.
That, yeah, but that is not how I do work projects.
Yeah.
I have a little
I
green bean, then some potato, then a little chicken.
I think I heard when I was listening to something probably when I was cooking or doing dishes or both, and they brought up the whatever the statistic is. This probably isn't going to be right, but it was like if you're interrupted while you're doing your tasks, it takes you like however many minutes to get back on track of where you were, kind of thing. And so it's like
I
whenever
could
you're
see that.
interrupted, and I instantly thought of you, and I'm like, this is Laura's like life, like work life, like uh she probably doesn't get a lot during the work day. She probably doesn't get a lot of the time to do
Right.
the deep work, the deep
No.
thinking, uninterrupted, time blocked, all these things that like sound
Yep.
amazing. And it's like, ooh, so and so on this podcast, or they wrote a book about this, like I think it's Cal Newport, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it's like you'd have to be in like a hyperbaric chamber to like not get interrupted.
Well, yeah, no, it's true. I'm trying to figure out, that's one thing I'm working through right now because I'm realizing my schedule is really full of meetings day in, day out. And at the same time, I do need to find some time to do the work that those meetings produce.
Yeah.
So I have been trying to think about what is another alternative rather than working all night, working all morning, working on the evenings, because that's also not, that's the fastest way to burn myself out and also not take care of myself. And if I don't take care of myself, I'm not going to be good to anybody. And the work I do is going to be um, not the quality that I want it to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the best product that
Yeah.
I can do. So I have been looking at my mornings and trying to think, okay, how can I maybe adjust the first hour and a half of my mornings? Because that's the time I know my brain is on fire. And so I was thinking, gosh, if there's a way that I could adjust and take no meetings before, like, say, 9 o'clock, and then just bust out work for an hour and a half each day. The question I have, though, because I know it would work, but the question I have is how can I create the environment and the flow so it's less interrupted work?
Mm.
Because if I do it in my office, I actually had somebody tell me once, encourage me that what you do is you go in, you put a note on the door, and you tell people that you aren't going to be opening the door until 9 o'clock, and that's when you start your day. And I was like, I don't know. I feel weird about that. Kind of like I'm hiding in my own little work fort.
That's a boundary thing. I think that
It's
came
a
up. That
boundary.
came up on your list somewhere.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's ways. One thing that I found really effective, but I don't know if it'll work for me at this point, but it's on the table, right? Is to take that first hour and a half of the day and go somewhere else physically. Go to a coffee shop. I know I'm really productive in a coffee shop. If I'm able to go there, get my coffee, go sit down and bust through some work, I'm physically not in my office, so people don't know where to find me to interrupt. And no one's interrupting because they're trying to make
No.
me less productive.
Yeah.
I do it to other people too. It's just the nature of work. So, but sometimes out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you can be more productive. I do have an issue if I try and do it at home, that I always find something that I want to do well. Like I want to multitask.
Another tab to open or
It's
another
another
tab to swipe
tab. I'm
through.
like, well, maybe I could get the dishes going while I think about that. Or,
That's what I do.
right. Do
I
you?
totally do that. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just get a load in the, load of clothes.
And then all of a sudden it's noon and I'm like,
Oh,
oh, whoa.
yeah.
Okay. I'm like, well, I got that stuff done.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, but we'll work through it. We'll get there.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't trying to like single out or like like the thing we talked about, like I don't want to villainize people for interrupting me.
Yeah.
Because I will I will take it kind of hard sometimes if I'm listening to a book and doing work, or like I multitask, like
Mm-hmm.
to make it tolerable to do like chores, right?
Yeah.
And then someone comes, makes me pause my book, right? Like, no, it's usually you or one of the kids and they have something to share with me that's pretty delightful.
Yeah.
And even at work, it's like somebody's just coming to get clarification on something or to share something
Right.
that can be just as equally delightful, right? So, yeah, I wasn't trying to be harsh on anybody. Like, it's more of like, I like thinking about the idea of, oh, it's hard to get back on track when we get interrupted. Therefore, we can be like kind with ourselves,
Right.
and not because like I said, I will focus on like what's lacking, and so at the end of the day, I'll forget that like I did the dishes, I did laundry, I cleaned
Yeah.
up the counter. I'll just focus on I didn't get all the work done I wanted downstairs.
Yeah.
On the computer, and,
Yeah.
and then I'll look at those interruptions of those chores interrupted me kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I just wanted to clarify a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's
But
good.
anyway.
So one thing I noticed, so since we each have 3 of the same 4 lesser strengths,
Mm.
I have a question for you around, since we know that now, because we both took this separate from each other,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't tell you what my results were until today, and you didn't tell me
So
yours.
right now, yeah.
So it kind of goes against the idea that it's nice to have complementary strengths, because you can kind of step in and help someone grow in one of their strengths that might be lesser,
Mm-hmm.
if you have that as a strength.
Yeah.
Knowing that you and I are partners and our primary role, I mean, we challenge each other quite a bit and help each other grow.
Yeah.
But if we look at our lesser strengths and know 3 of the 4 are the same,
Mm-hmm.
how are we going to do that?
Well, we've been doing it.
We have.
I mean, I guess we've gotten better at it in the last few years somehow. But this
I like
may
the
be
confidence in your
well, no, I mean, the tricky thing is, so like we are both stubborn, as we have mentioned. It's like
we are.
it's like one of the secret phrase of this episode will be like every time we say stubborn, like
Take a drink of water. You want to hydrate,
Yep.
right? Here we go.
Yep, there you go. But yeah, so the awareness that they're not as robust in us, it can hopefully give us each like a reminder of being patient with each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So yeah, like where is it? Like I don't even remember all of them.
Oh,
So teamwork, forgiveness, and self-regulation. Those are the ones we share.
Yep. Forgiveness, teamwork, and
Yeah.
self-regulation.
So you're definitely more forgiving than me, or or well, maybe not. I
Oh,
mean, I think you are, but I secretly feel like you maybe never forgive me for certain
oh
things.
no, I forgive you, honey.
Being a little dramatic there,
Yeah, I was
but
like, whoa.
that's my dramatic part of my brain is like, oh, she's still holding that against me, or I really messed that up, right? Like that is part of my personality where I'm like, oh, she's never going to forgive me. Like maybe that's part of that. Um, and I said this recently, like you definitely reset faster than me. So I think
Hmm.
that's why I think you are a little more forgiving. Like
Yeah.
especially, I think I'm less forgiving with myself is maybe why this
Mm.
shows up for me,
Okay. Yeah.
and you are much more generous with forgiveness for other people.
Hmm.
Like I think that's so. I think I said something differently, but what I meant is I think we're both really hard on ourselves,
We are. Yeah.
and you just happen to be better at not being as hard on other people compared to me. I'm kind of hard on people. I'm a little particular,
Yeah.
you might call it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So anyway, but knowing like the awareness, like doing like an inventory like this, right?
Hmm.
Um, and us talking about, oh wow, we need to pay attention to how much we are caring for each other and ourselves, right? That forgiveness of, I didn't work out as much as I wanted to,
Yeah.
or I didn't drink as much water as I wanted to, or the video's not getting done. Like it kind of messed me up this week. I
Yeah.
I kind of dipped, and I've been working through it, but I definitely noticed it was there. And in 5 years ago, I would have just been crabby for a while, and you'd be like, "Why are you so crabby?" And like now, I'm just like, "This isn't working, and I'm a little low about it. It's gonna be fine. Let's go trick or treating." Like I
Right.
could peel away instead of bringing the
Yeah.
laptop with me and sitting in your parents' house and working. I'm like, it's
Right.
fine. It's annoying,
It
but
is what it is.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And eventually, I want it to be the point where I don't get in that position. Like I'm like the part of me that's having a hard time with kind of it's like a failure
Hmm.
that it didn't go out is because I want the protocol to be this goes out, that goes out, and the video goes out,
Yep.
and I want it to be a smooth operation, and it's like, okay, I'm working from a place in my head of like as if I'm some giant corporation that's been doing this for 50 years, like, and
Yeah.
that's the quality control I want. And it's like, okay, you're a young startup, and it's like things aren't going to go well all the time. So I need to be uh anti-fragile, I think,
Hmm.
resilience.
Yeah.
Like I can want to be consistent, and I can want to have the things happen the way I want,
Yeah.
but when they have a short fail like this, like a short-term fail, I don't want it to disrupt everything so much. And it's not, but I could definitely feel it trying to.
Hmm.
So I had to do like a little mental jujitsu on my own resistance in my brain kind of thing. So um but yeah, like it just brings me back to being aware that we kind of have some similar tendencies is can help alleviate some of the pressure maybe for each other,
Yeah.
or make it okay to share like, hey, I am having a hard time letting go of this thing over here.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I am. As you were talking through that, one thing that I heard you say a couple different times in different ways was that kind of that voice in your head is more judgmental and says things to you about you that isn't necessarily helpful or true,
Not
but it
helpful.
feels true.
Feels very true.
Feels true. Um, and I know that's one thing that I think we can work on is noticing that voice
Yeah.
that is being so self-critical that that doesn't help us.
Well, that taps into like that self-regulation, I think, right?
Oh, yeah,
And
absolutely.
so, yeah, yeah, this it's helpful to have another word other than I didn't do it right. That judgment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm having a hard time regulating how I'm feeling about that.
Well, or you even said like you aren't drinking water, that you should be doing this, and
Yeah,
you ought to be drinking more water. And
that's very true, though.
it might be true that you want to drink more water, but telling yourself that you're failing because you're not drinking water, I don't know if that's going to be the sort of pep talk you
Exactly.
need
Yeah,
to follow through with an action of drinking more water.
exactly. Yep.
So,
The the mental chatter that I have is not helpful.
yeah. Well, and I mean, it's hard because you're stuck with yourself, right? All the time.
Don't remind me.
No, but I do that. I'm
Yeah.
like, gosh, why is this script
Hence
continuing to
teamwork, right? Why do
go?
I need somebody else on this sinking team? Hey, there's humor, right?
Yeah, there's humor. It's
There's one of
coming out.
there's my strength.
Oh, that is funny. Yeah, I mean, teamwork. I'm just going to look at it really quick because um so working well as a member of a group or team, being loyal to the group and doing one's share.
See that like so when I
Hmm.
hear that, I don't I don't have a problem with that. Like
Yeah.
I am loyal. I will do more than my fair share. But maybe that's why I think the when I don't see people doing their fair share and when it is hindering the rest of the team, that's probably why I hold it at arm's length because then that justice or that forgiveness, I maybe am holding a grudge against
Hmm.
somebody, but I definitely I don't necessarily want to rock the boat by calling them out, or like historically maybe.
Right.
I haven't really been in a position to work on a team lately. So
Yeah.
except for with you.
Yeah. Well, then I mean, I really like working on teams.
Yeah.
So having it show up as one of my lesser strengths made me a little sad.
I think it's because it goes so deep into our defaults that it,
Yeah.
it bubbles up. And again, it's not saying it's lesser, therefore you're horrible at it. It's saying, where what I'm taking from it is like, oh, these are some things that if I do invest in these, they can maybe be some superpowers.
Mhm.
Or if it's not like my tendency, but like, hey, if I work on letting go, forgiveness, then maybe my mind won't be so full of things and then I can gain more clarity in other things I'm thinking of or
Right.
a little more freedom and then all of a sudden I'll have an epiphany and about this or that other problem that I haven't been able to solve, it's because I'm not using up my energy like holding on to something that's not serving me, like the let them thing that you talked about,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, like not wanting to think of it as like, oh, I'm bad at teamwork. It's more of like, oh, I don't lean into it quite as much. And I bet if I did, so say I came to you and said, hey, I'm having a problem getting the video out,
Yeah.
you would say to me, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like you'll figure it out. Instead of me sitting here saying, like I don't say this, but it's like that stereotypical or like that script where like you see someone and they're just like, oh, stupid, 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 like something like that. You'd see
Oh,
in like a cartoon, right?
yeah.
Like being really hard on yourself, calling yourself names and stuff like that. Like it's not there.
Yeah.
But a version of that pulls me down and gets my mood low where I'm like, why can't I figure this out? Like, why isn't this working? And or part of me is like, am I just not being patient? I'm like, well, I let it go for 6 hours the other day and I came back and forth and I was checking and I'm like, I think it's moving. And I'm like, but I had to shake the mouse to like wake the screen back up. So I like where I left the clicker to see if it was getting closer,
Yeah.
right? It moved and so then I couldn't tell. And I'm like, after 6 hours, I'm like, it's not working. It's a stop. Like just wasting processing power, and like just
Yeah.
wasting electricity.
Yeah.
Um, my point, if I can not simply hold that in my head and talk with myself, and I share it with a teammate like you, I can maybe work through it and navigate it, and it won't be, quite as hard feeling, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I no, that's what I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. It's as you're saying that, I really appreciate that you would leverage our relationship and that team that we have right now for more support. Because if you tried to ask me how to troubleshoot or anything, I think I would be the team member that could not pull her weight.
No, I definitely would pull you in for like
Like, go,
the
Keith.
emotional support. I need the
Yes.
emotional support from Laura, not the technical, like computer tech troubleshooting.
That's good.
That's AI.
I'm like, I'm always willing to try, but
Yeah.
that is above my head, probably.
Yeah.
AI could help me figure it out, maybe, if I understood what it was telling me to do. I will say, sorry, this is a little aside. I was able to figure out, I used AI this week to figure out how to pull specific data from the US Census because they have so much data that it's hard to know what table, what report, what slice of the data is and where it lives by Google searches alone. And it said, okay, go to the US Census, put this into the search bar, and I was able to do it. And I got to pull down the data and analyze it the way I needed to. So I felt fantastic.
That's awesome.
About that. Yeah.
A win.
That is a win.
Great.
Absolutely. I was like, I'm going to put this fancy code. But yeah. Can I shift us again?
Yeah.
So we've been talking about our lesser strengths. And I'm wondering if we can go back to our top 5.
Okay.
Just because I think it's good to understand and do some of the work with our lesser strengths of where are we at, how could we strengthen and shore those up? How can we support each other to help strengthen those muscles that we maybe don't strengthen all the time? I'm thinking I did, the weightlifting. I went on a conference, and one thing I like to do when I go to conferences is I tell myself, okay, for every 2 days you're at this conference, you need to spend at least one of them in the morning in the gym. That's just kind of my deal with myself. And so you never know what you're going to get depending on the hotel. But the hotel had a really nice gym, which was great. But I did a lot of lifting with my triceps. So I did, lots of different tricep moves. Anyway, just because of the weights they had and what I wanted to do. My triceps hurt so bad for about 5 days.
Yeah. How's that morning coffee?
Shaky. It was shaky.
That's funny.
No, but talking, so it just made me think, strength training, when we're talking about strengthening those muscles that are smaller, and not as worked as often, sometimes can be a little shaky, right? And you can feel that pain a little bit. A little different than when you're working your quads or your biceps and you're used to doing a little bit more with those.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, again, like that's why like those lesser ones, I'm like, oh, I should pay attention to these because I do default to what I'm good at. And it's getting me where I am. Yeah. It's not always going to get me where I want to go. Like sometimes you have to drill down and focus. But so anyway, but you were shifting us to talking about the strengths. Yeah. So let's get back to the quads.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to our quads and our biceps.
Yep.
And see where we're at.
Yeah.
So with the strengths, we both shared the love of learning. And I don't think that was a big surprise because that's part of the reason we have this podcast.
Yeah, because we can talk about what we're learning.
And we do this whether or not we're recording.
Yeah.
We're always reading and listening to things and exploring new things. So tell me your other 4 again. I want to ask you a question about one of them.
Humor, humility, appreciation of beauty and excellence, and honesty.
I'm curious about your strength and appreciation of, was it beauty?
Beauty and excellence.
Beauty and excellence. I'm curious about that one and
I am
how
too a
you
little
see
bit.
that show up.
So I think I see it show up in how I can appreciate like small little things. Like I think the questions were like, do you notice some of these questions? They feel like I'm judging the questions because I'm like, you're asking me this in a way in which, like, if you're asking me if people find me funny, like I'm not other people. Like I think I'm funny.
People find you funny.
Yeah, and I'm like, so it's weird. So I have a hard time answering some of these questions. But like, so with like the it's like, do you notice beauty in things that maybe other people pass by? And I'm like, yeah, I think I do. Like,
I think you do. I mean, you send me little pictures when you go on walks, like, here's a turtle,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. Or like one of the pictures I think I showed you. I don't think I sent it to you, but like the shadows of something were lining up with something else in the natural world. Like they'd put up a fence.
Yeah.
And the shadows of the fence posts were lining up with where they marked them with spray paint.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's crazy that I'm walking by at the exact time that the shadows are lining up with their random marks. Like they didn't take a string line and mark a 90-degree angle to like the spot they wanted to put a post, you know?
Right.
So little things like that, you know, but like even more nature and stuff. Like I accidentally found like some really like small baby turtles.
Yeah.
You know, they were like the size of a piece of gravel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But so I don't know. I it's probably got something to do with the fact that I spend a lot of time in my head. And while I'm doing that, like I'll look off to the side or I'll look down and I'll just notice something and maybe fixate it on it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and you've always, even like sunsets, that's always been something that you've always commented on since I've known you.
Yeah. Yeah. Just taking in the scene and just being. Yeah. So I think it's got something to do with that. And I'm sure it supports that. It's like intense focus, but also intense, like paying attention to nothing all at once, right?
Yeah.
Like I can really focus and obsess over something, but I can also really let things get fuzzy and out of focus and and not. I don't. What's the opposite of focus?
Like,
Can't think of it. But it's like it's almost like meditative, right? Like just let everything go by you.
Oh.
Like the whole point of like meditation is like, you're going to have thoughts.
Or you kind of let it to get blurred.
Yeah, you're not paying attention to anything. It's like, so I can almost do both, right? It's like, and that's not a brag, but I can find myself like
your humility comes through in how you talk.
Well, you'll ask me, what are you thinking about? And I'll be like, oh, I have no idea. I was simply being like, and sometimes it's true. And sometimes you interrupted me and I'm like, what? And I'm like, and you're like, what are you thinking about? I'm like, I don't remember, you know, like, to bring it back to that, I guess. But for the most part, if I know what I'm thinking about, I'll tell you. But sometimes I'm just like staring off into nothing. And there's probably something going on, but like not on a level that I'm aware of. But I think it also like part of me wants to be like a graphic designer in some way. I never went to school for it. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I'm self-taught. I know enough to do some things, but not enough to know that I'm doing it wrong. I just think it looks okay. And then like if somebody else knows what they're doing, they could probably like tear any graphic or anything apart and be like, oh, you definitely didn't follow this principle, or you don't know this color theory and all that. I'm okay with my taste for the most part. And the learner part of me wants to keep increasing my palette and my abilities to have an eye for things. And so I think there's some of that in that seeing the beauty and excellence in things is, I think I like my perspective. I like the way I see things, and I like trying to make things or recreate things to share that.
Yeah.
So even I guess that's maybe why I am a little disappointed or dissatisfied with the fact that the video is not ready for last week yet.
Sure.
But it didn't stop me from this week trying something else again. I'm trying to, like, we'll see how it looks, but like I've got some different lighting going on and
Yep.
some different filters, and like I'm talking of, you know, this is where I start to lose you when I get into
You
the
do.
nitty gritty of things.
Yeah.
Like there are certain things that I really care about when it comes to, I don't know if it's appearance, but it's excellence. The nitty gritty of doing it to a standard and doing it the right way is like, I want to do that not in a way that it's perfect, but that like I'm proud of it
Mm-hmm.
or that I can stand behind it. And so the little missteps that are happening this week, they didn't stop me from still moving forward and trying something new. And this could be going wrong too, for all I know. Like every now and then I'll peek over
I
and
know
be
you
like,
keep looking. I'm like, don't look.
like how's it looking? You know, like I'm like, did I ruin this one too? But
Oh my goodness.
so
You didn't ruin
don't you love that script I have?
it. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, anyway, that's enough about me.
No, I wanted to ask one more thing from
Okay.
your list. Unless, do you want to ask me something about one of mine? I have one more I wanted to ask you about.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
On yours?
Yeah.
Okay. The other one I wanted to ask you about is your strength around honesty. And so we're in the Midwest where honesty is not always something that is out there fully. How do you see that strength showing up kind of in our regional context?
I don't know. I think it goes with the humility in a way.
Okay.
But I mean the honesty for me is like I don't know. I just don't know any other way to operate. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to be brutally honest with people. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I reserve that for myself.
Mm-hmm. Great.
And you
No.
and you when you're in a good mood.
And me when I'm in a good mood. Oh no.
So I don't know. I guess I'm not 100% sure because I'm not trying to brag about how honest I am or anything. Like, but when I read that, I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, I don't try to fabricate things. I don't try to brag, I guess. Like, it just doesn't come natural to me. So it's not like I don't try not to. It's just that I never think of doing it unless I am like telling a story. Like, the creative part of me is like, that's where I'll pull out that kind of the bells and whistles and frills and stuff, like when it's art, maybe, you know, back to that beauty and excellence or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. You might see it more clearly than me.
Well, I think for me, I see you're always going to tell people where you're at and you're not going to lie. You know, like I think sometimes the Midwest people get a reputation of that Midwest nice.
Yeah.
Where you think one thing, but you say something different just to not make waves and things like that. And I don't see you saying things just to placate people.
Yeah.
I will say I have seen you say things in very kind ways, but that align with how you actually see it. That makes it palatable for people to hear. I've also seen if you do disagree that you pick when you share how you really feel. And so sometimes I've seen you be like, you know what? It doesn't need to be said right now by me.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you're not just walking around and being like, don't like that color.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't be drinking that. Like you're not like walking around,
I'm not dropping truth bombs on people. No. Like that's not where the honesty is. The honesty is like, I'm not going to fabricate, and if I'm not in a great mood, like that doesn't mean I'm going to show up and be in a bad mood towards people.
No.
It just means that I might have to make the hard decision to be like, I'm not going to show up because I don't want to ruin things for people. And that's hard. Like I've made myself do things that maybe I ought to not do, and then I wonder why it didn't go well. And it's like, oh, because I didn't pay attention to how I was feeling or how I might show up, or did I have the ability to show up in the way that the situation warranted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I
I don't
mean,
know.
even I know we've talked about this, but when I had my dissertation, and you're an amazing editor,
Hmm.
and I remember asking you, I wanted honest feedback on how it was because this is a big deal for me, and other people have asked you to edit pieces, and you're never rude, but you ask really good questions about, I don't understand what you're talking about here. Can
Hmm.
you help me understand? And it was a completely different experience for me at first. I remember, I think there was some big tears.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely made you cry.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh gosh." I'm like, "Well, that's something
I mean,
because I
not
wanted a gold
intentional.
star."
Not yeah.
No, you weren't mean,
I wasn't mean,
but
but the result seemed like I was being like horrifyingly mean.
no.
I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh
Like, oh,
no.
she's not used to this.
No." Well, because there's a point where you want to be told that what you're doing is good and that you did a good job and you get a gold star, and
Yeah,
um that doesn't it's not always the case, and that's okay.
yeah,
But I always think that you say things in a kind way. I also appreciate, I will say sometimes when I cook or bake something and it doesn't go well, I know if I'm like, how was that? And you're like, could have been better, not enough salt, not this. At first, that was really hard for me to hear.
yeah. That's what I come from, though, right? Like
Right, it
that's how I
is.
grew up.
But but if I think about it, like if I make a dessert that's new and I try it and I'm like, oh, it's fine, but it's really lots of sugar and it just doesn't have any taste to it other than sweet. Do I really want you to tell me like it's fantastic
Just
when
smile and
I know that it's not that
just
great,
lie right to your face.
right?
Yeah,
Because you don't have to tell me it's fantastic. You still recognize that it took a lot of effort to do,
yeah, yeah.
you
I won't.
know?
And it's not like I'm gonna tell you it's horrible.
No.
I'm like, ooh,
No, you don't.
I'm like, did you put salt in this?
Yeah.
And you're like, maybe not.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I did.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
can tell that too. So it's all
yeah.
all good.
There's something there. Oh, and I brought this up to you a little while ago, so I think it's worth saying again. The like those types of things when if I say something about your cooking or whatever you baked,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to critique you. I'm critiquing the product, like the bread or the pie or whatever. And I'm not like I'm not trying to critique it. I'm just being honest. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's a little sweet or that doesn't have enough salt."
Yeah.
That just seems that's natural to me. I don't realize it's a critical statement, and it's not about you personally, it's about the work.
Yeah.
That and that's something it popped in my head for some reason. I can't remember the other day, right? We were talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, like we got to remember like when we're offering feedback for people, how do you say it in a way that how like as a team, let's say, how do you make sure that we're all on the same page where the feedback isn't a reflection on you as a person, it's a reflection on the work, and that's what we're here to
Yeah.
do, kind of thing. And I I think we've talked about that before too, where I do need to realize like, oh, my honesty can come back as criticism, and that's not
Yeah.
my point. I was just saying something that's true to me. It's subjective also.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing, especially with food. It's like it's all subjective.
Yeah. And there's been
Yeah,
plenty of times I'm like, well, you don't like it? I like it. So
yeah,
there's more for me then.
yeah. So again, I just want to reiterate that I'm never trying to like drop bombs
No.
about like what I my taste is the end all be all decider of if it's good or not. Same with like my honesty or whatever. I guess it's weird to talk about. I think
Yeah.
anyway.
Makes you a little uncomfy.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, that humility is bubbling up.
Yeah.
Okay. What
Okay.
what were your
Do you want
five?
to hear my five and
Yeah,
you can ask me? Um,
yeah. I want to hear what your five are.
okay. So my five: love of learning, hope, love, creativity, and gratitude.
Those are also good. I guess I think hope. I want to hear a little bit about that and maybe how that is coming up for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if I want to hear more about creativity, or is it gratitude?
Gratitude.
That also, like, or whatever. What about those like kind of stood out to you? I guess
Yeah.
out of those.
So the hope, when I read the little description of it, it's expecting the best in the future and working to achieve it, believing that a good future is something that can be brought about. And I just smiled because I'm like, okay, so this is my strengths finder, number one strength, the futuristic.
Yeah,
And it was cool to see it show up. And I like that they call it hope because that's what I think is so powerful about the future for me is that it's kind of, oh, the possibility of where we can go and that we have the power to engage and create something new and move into the future. Um, and that what we create is going to be good. And so there's a part of me that that future focus is something that always keeps me showing up and moving forward. But then the positivity behind it too, just all encompassed in that word of hope was really powerful. So I think it's what motivates me. If I need to achieve a goal, I always put it in future context language. You know, that, um, Laura 5 years down the road, Laura 10 years down the road will look back and um, like that she showed up today doing X, Y, and Z, things like that.
that one ended up in like my middle,
Yeah.
and in the middle,
Like
where
right smack dab.
yeah, and a little higher up where I think I saw judgment,
Okay.
and so that's why I like that hope is higher for you,
Yeah.
because it like, and as everybody can tell, like as we talk, you lift me up out of that judgment zone. And I think it's because that you come from this futuristic view, this hopeful view.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I don't know. What came up for you with the creativity?
With creativity.
Yeah.
So with creativity, I was also happy to see that one. It's something that when I talk about what do I value, I often talk about I value creativity, curiosity, and thinking about how to do things in different ways. So, not just thinking that this is the way you do this one thing all the time, exactly this way, but that there are always different ways that you can get to the same outcome. And uh, sometimes, if you try different paths, you might land upon something that is truly unique and special. So, I get pretty excited about that. Um, and I like being creative and creating things and developing things. Even, like this morning, this sounds silly maybe, and maybe this isn't creativity, but I finally harvested our beets and our carrots.
Oh yeah.
The beets were the size of radishes. So whoops.
Your
But
poor garden got a little neglected this
it
year.
got a little neglected, yeah. But the carrots, I forgot I had planted a rainbow mix. And
Right.
so when I pulled them out, I was like, "Oh, that's right. I wanted some just different kinds and to try a new variety." And so I had yellow ones and like white ones and purple ones and orange ones. And I was like, "Oh, that's fun. I'm gonna try those." I have no idea if they taste good, but they just brought me a little bit of joy by having those different colors of the pops,
Yeah.
of different carrots.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. See, I think that shows a little bit of that like attention to beauty,
Yeah.
you know, and and then like when you're saying that, or like that creativity didn't show up super high for me. I can I'm thinking back to the questions that probably informed that, and how
Mhm.
I probably answered a little more moderately because I was not allowing myself to say how original I am, because I get it asked something like that and I'm like, well, I'm not original. Like that honesty part of me
Are
is
you
like,
sure?
it's like no, like like most. 99% of everything I've done has been done before, kind of thing. Like
There's no one like you.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying the things that I do, like where, like I haven't like reinvented the wheel kind of thing. And
Yeah.
so like I think that informs how I answer these questions, and so that informed, but it's very revealing. Like
Right.
so, but I like seeing that you're talking about creativity, and then in creeps this where I see like, oh, there you're seeing the sense of beauty in these different colors, and
Mhm.
that creativity that you take for gardening, and that brings you joy, and then
Yeah.
gratitude, right?
Yeah.
Kind of I feel that creeping in. So I guess that's where I see the empowerment that comes from doing like a inventory like this, or framework, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. The other thing too with creativity that I think creeps in for me is so often, especially at work, I think I'm working through things that are, there's not one easy solution or one way to go about it. And I always like to think about, okay, how can we get a lot of people together at a table to think through what is a unique, different way that we can attack this stubborn problem that is not unique in higher ed, that is very stubborn and just sticky. And what is it we can do that's different to really try and move something forward? And so um, I get a lot of energy from that, a lot of energy
I
from
love
that.
it.
Well, and then, it pairs back to the hope and the planner in me and hope for the future and thinking, gosh, if we do things slightly differently and not just get stuck to be that cog in a machine,
Hmm.
we could really create something extraordinary. So
I like
I
that.
get so excited about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we should wrap it up.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
So this was really fun. And again, I know people probably have heard what this is, but this is like a strengths based survey that you can take from the VIA Institute on Character.
Yeah.
It's free. So if you wanted to do this and go on the journey too, you definitely can.
I'll link it in the show notes,
That would be
and then
fantastic.
people can just click on it if they want.
That's great. So they don't have to take a mental note
Yeah.
as they're driving down the road.
Yep. 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 Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
I love you too.
Okay. I'm glistening.